Just waiting for people to get in here. Hi. Hello. Happy. What day is today? Is today Friday? I don't even fucking know. They all melt together. Welcome to episode 8 of 20 Questions with. Today's special guest will be Jamie from Aerial Salad. My name is Erin Micklow. If you don't know me, I host a show on YouTube called Last Rockers TV where I interview bands, cover their live sets, and do festival recaps. So let's bring Jamie on. Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Here we go. Oops. Hi, happy whatever fucking day it is, the day that ends in Y.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi,
How you doing? You alright?
it's nice to internet meet you. Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you as well. Did we meet at Wonkfest?
I don't know if we actually met, but I saw you play.
I think you and your mate got into a taxi, and as you were leaving, you asked us what our band was called, and that was it. And that was a mystery. Who were the mystery people entering the taxi? Today, I find it's a very important day. This in my musical career.
That's funny. Yeah, Longfest is a good festival. It's weird how I ended up going there the last couple years. It was actually by accident. I wasn't supposed to be there either year. It was like flights got canceled because of weather or some shit, and then I got stuck in London, and it was like, well, fuck, what's going on tonight? Oh, there's this punk festival.
That's very handy. It's not very often you get, stuck with an option of something to do as good as Wonkfest, because it's a good festival.
Well, yeah, I mean, before that, I never knew who Wonk Unit was. I was like, what the fuck is Wonkfest? What is this? What is this strange place that I'm in with all of these strange people and these slippery floors? And it's a very weird environment, but I love it.
It's great. It's great. It's very British.
Yeah. So let's start with a drink. What is your drink of choice?
It's normally gin, but I'm on a bit of Sweet Lady H2O today, the sweet nectar of life water. So remember to stay hydrated, everybody.
I've got a green smoothie. I'm trying to behave myself. In lockdown, it's hard not to get wasted every day because it's like, well, fuck, what am I doing today? Hanging out at home.
I have spent about 24 days high all day, and as much as Snoop Dogg would let you think that that's great, it does get to a point where, it's normally by about until about 7 p.m. I'm fine, and then edging to this part of the evening as I'm lying down to go to bed, my brain's just getting attacked by so many daft thoughts that I'm just trying to go, oh, fucking hell, can I not sleep? But there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do.
Well, you have to make stuff to do, but it's like finding that motivation to do it when you could just be fucking off.
Well, I find that weed's a fantastic motivator because when you're high, you feel very guilty. Or I do. I always feel very guilty about doing nothing while I'm high. So it really pushes me to try and do something.
This is why I don't smoke weed. I'm not against it, but I don't do weed because I either get really paranoid or I feel like a vegetable.
See, I love feeling like that. It's sublime.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like the vegetable feeling. So let's jump into our questions. For those out there that aren't familiar with your band, describe your sound.
Dave, we're a punk band from Manchester, and we sound like British punk bands did in the 90s. We sound a bit like Leatherface. We sound a bit like Snuff. We also sound a bit like the Stone Roses. So that's kind of what we're going for.
Yeah, for sure. And you can definitely hear the influences with Wonkfest, but we'll get into that in a bit. So how did you come up with your band name, and what does it mean?
So when we were all kids, we played in just like a high school band, and the lad who played guitar, his dad actually had the band name. He came into the room we were practicing, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, lads, I used to play in a band when I was your age. We were called Aerial Salad." And he sort of just sauntered out of the room after saying that. And we were just like, "Oh, safe, okay, that's what we'll call our band then." And then when I got this band together, I was just like, yeah, we'll just keep Aerial Salad. We're just very lazy. We're very lazy. And band names are very challenging, so it was just easy to have one pre-assigned to us.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how stuff starts, when I came up with my channel name, Last Rockers TV, it was literally like when you start something, you don't think it's gonna be anything, so you're just like, oh fuck it, let's just pick a fucking name.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, I wish we weren't called aerial salad. Honestly, it's really becoming annoying. It's really starting to me. And the thing is that people say they're like, "Oh, I didn't listen to your band because you called aerial salad," and I can't argue with that because I wouldn't listen to it either. I've said this before. I'd go, "No, I'm not listening to that. That's terrible." That.
yeah, I remember at Wongfest last summer when I was watching your guys' set because there was no fucking stage banners and I didn't have any set times. I was like, oh, this band's really good. What are they called? I said that to my friend, and he goes, Ariel. I was like, what? Because it was loud too. I was like, how do you spell that? Like,
Yeah, a lot of people can't.
it's funny. So I read that your band was formed with the intent to play the fest in Gainesville. Out of all the festivals in the world, why that one? Especially you being in England, like why the fest in Gainesville?
So I got taken there by a mate the year before the year we played, and I was about 19 at the time, 19, 20. I was very lucky to go. And it was like there were, because I was into punk bands, but I didn't realise, because all the bands that were playing were sort of bands that I'd seen in smaller venues in the UK, and I didn't know what the DIY scene was or anything like that. I didn't know that it was possible for small bands to play sort of gigs like that, so to say. You know, not all the bands are small, but like you watch like, you know, I saw Wonk Unit play in front of 500 people while Dillinger 4 were playing, and it's like, it's just ridiculous. So it was just a very inspiring place to go to. And I met Tony, who runs Fest, the year I went, just as a punter. And it just inspired me. I was just like, yo, I was like, I'm going to go start a band. Can I play your festival? And he was like, send me your stuff. So went home and recorded 2 EPs.
That's awesome. Oh my god. Yeah, I was actually born in Gainesville, but I've never been to the fest. But the fest has like a ton of Fat Records bands. I feel like that's kind of like Fat Records home, and then they
Yeah.
bring in a bunch of other bands.
Yeah, when I went, I was really into the fat bands. I was very excited to see on the Saturday, which was Halloween night. It was Teenage Bottle Rocket, Lagwagon, and Pears all played on that day, I think. So that was a very good day. That was a very good day. And yeah, and do you know what as well? Actually, the thing about Fest, Gainesville's a great. It's a. I don't know what it's like when the Fest isn't on, obviously, but
It's
it's
like
a
a college
very nice
town.
little place.
It's a college
Yeah, it's
town.
really cool. You know what I mean? And yeah, Fest was great. Fest was great because I went and there was all the bands that sort of drew me there, like Off with the Reds. I was very excited to see them. But it was all the bands I discovered while I was there because it's just full of quality bands you've never heard of. That's the best way to describe Fest. It's full of the best bands that you've not heard of. Both times I've walked away with loads of new bands to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been to that one, but I want to go. It's just weird for me because like I was born in Gainesville and I left Florida, so it's like I don't really want to go back there. I left for a reason, but
Well, if you ever want to make a return pilgrimage, that's a fairly good excuse.
yeah, for sure. So after accomplishing the fest, like we kind of mentioned before, Wonk Unit took you under their wing. How did it happen that you met them?
I met Alex at Fest the year we played, and I knew Benny, who was their old guitarist, quite well. And we'd met him a few times, but this was the first time we'd had a proper chat. And it was either just before or after one could played. I was with Alex by the merch table, and he just goes, Jamie, how the fuck is your band here? He's like, how the fuck have I not heard of your band if you're playing Fest? And I just said, I was like, yeah, we just sent the guy our stuff and he liked it. And he's like, how many gigs have you played? And I was like, 9. It was our 9th gig. And he just liked that. He just liked the fact that we didn't have any instruments with us. We didn't really have a plan. We were all fucked. We were so fucked. And we just weren't prepared for it at all. And he just found it quite endearing. So, yeah, look, when we got back, he listened to us. Fortunately, he didn't see us at Fest because we were quite famously shit. But yeah, he got back, listened to us, and then the rest is histoire, as they say in France. They don't. They say history still, but they probably say something else.
That's funny. I love Alex. He's so funny. I've just recently gotten to know him from Wonk Fest, and then over the summer they came over to Oakland and played the Crash Festival too. So we hung out there a bit, and he's fucking funny.
Mate, he's absolutely one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life.
So you just released your second album, Dirt Mall, last week. Can you talk about making the album and how it was different from making your debut album?
Yeah, of course. So when we made our first album, we were very young, very young. I think I was 19, and it was made with like a producer from round our end. He was quite notorious. He made a lot of like just very good DIY albums. He was very cheap, and yeah, it was great. It was very, very, very rushed though. It was very rushed. It was very bad. We really didn't know how to play very well. There was a lot of editing going on. It was, it was your first album as kids. It was shit. Like it was chaos. But the second one, we had much more of a game plan. We were like, right, we're gonna go to London for a week. We're gonna get all the music sorted in a week. We're gonna spend this week together, and we're gonna do what bands used to do and go somewhere and record an album. Back obviously in the '90s, when there was money in the industry, you get given money and sent somewhere on holiday to make an album. Obviously, we don't have such luxuries, so we went to London near where Millwall play football. So anyone who likes Old Firm casualties, old Lars, he loves a bit of Millwall. So we were right deep into London, and yeah, it was just grotty, but it was just funny. It was absolutely one of the best weeks of my life. We just got very, very high and made an album that we love. It was really good.
I love it. I was listening to the album today when I was getting ready. It's really, really great. Like, I genuinely love it.
Cheers, thanks very much. I appreciate that.
So everyone watching, go stream it on all the streaming platforms, their new album, Dirt Mall. So what inspired the name Dirt Mall for the album?
There's a Kevin Smith film called Mallrats, and one of the characters refers to a thrift shop as a dirt mall. And it was at a weird time in my life, right? I just left what was my career to go, right, okay, I can't do the band and do proper, like, all time consuming work. I need to do the band and then come back to work when I'm a bit older. And I was just in a weird, bit of a weird mood. Watched that film, and when he said dirt mall, I was like, do you know what? Life's a bit of a dirt mall. I was like, life is a fucking dirt mall. And it just stuck. So we started describing things very pretentiously as dirt mall. Things that are black and white and quite arty would be quite dirt mall. My mate Lauren, yeah, she wears a very particular camo jacket, yeah. It's got a very particular autonomous mads patch on the back of it. That's very dirt mall. Smoking a cigarette that's been on the floor for a week, that's not dirt mall. It sounds dirt mall. It isn't dirt mall.
So, you guys don't really have malls there in the UK, do you? That's not like a thing. That's more of an American thing, right?
Nah, we've got shopping centres. The shopping centre is definitely a pinnacle of British culture. Every major city's got a few shopping centres, but they're slightly different to American malls. American malls are very over-encompassing. There's a lot going on in an American mall. The Trafford Centre, anybody from Manchester who's watching, the Trafford Centre is very similar to an American mall, and that is owned by Americans. But yeah, they're a bit different shopping centres, but they're very much edging towards, they're getting quite Americanised.
Yeah. The malls,
Yeah.
like, as American, like, that's what we would do in our youth. We would just go hang out in the mall, and it was just like that movie, Mallrats. Like, that's like what we would do, because it's all there was to do.
No, it's very similar over here. In Britain, it's a bit different. So a lot of the cities in Britain, but mainly most people you meet don't grow up right in the centre of a city. They grow up knocking slightly outside of it. Now, outside in towns, small northern British towns always have a shit shopping centre. Like Bury, where I spent my teenage years with nothing to do, the mall, it was fucking terrible. There was like a pasty shop, very, very bad clothes shops, nothing going on. There was one record shop, which was all right, and that was it. But that is where you'd hang out.
Yeah. I remember in my youth at the malls, there was a movie theater, and like American youth was like, you'd go and you would do laps around the mall trolling for boys and other kids to hang out with. That was like, it wasn't even really about the shopping. Like, you just like hang out. And it was
yeah. No, absolutely. It was the exact same thing for us. Like, where we grew up, it had like a market as well, very British. So we just like, you would just pace around. You just do laps. There was no consumerism going on. It was just walking around having a chat. But it was very nice. You've got to do something when you're young.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, we can't go to the bars yet, so. So you just released a new music video this week for your song "Lazy." I love the song. When the video starts for like the first minute and a half, you're fucking naked, like full frontal, but your dick is blurred out. What makes you
Yeah.
start the music video that way?
Um, because the video is just us having a lazy day and just not doing anything, and I'd sleep naked. So I thought I need to be accurate, and I thought, do you know what? To be honest, it was mainly to make all of us laugh, and it did that. It was so funny recording it. It was such a stupid day, so it was very good, very good. Yeah. So that was it. It was just to make us all laugh, really, and it's done quite well. I think it's so stupid.
I mean, it's really funny. In the end of it, you end up naked in the tub with your bandmate. You're both fucking naked, smoking a joint.
Yeah, yeah, that was unplanned. That we were shooting the bit before it, and I thought it would just be sexy if I got up and got in the bath with Mike and surprised him a little bit. And yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. It was just funny. It was just a lovely, silly video to make.
It was really funny. Everyone go watch that on YouTube. So why isn't your drummer in the new music video?
So we have like a plethora of drummers. We have an ensemble of drummers, but Matty, who recorded, he's got kids, so he wasn't able to make it down. He's very busy. So me and Mike were like, okay, we'll do it. And that's just been the way it is. It's just been me and Mike in all the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a lot different. Like when you've got a family and children, you kind of have to put them first over music videos and things.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It's like it's one of them. It's like, yeah, Matty, we'll film ourselves naked getting high. You raise your kids. I can see that's very important. That absolutely can get behind that.
So then, who was the girl in the music video? Just one of your friends?
Oh, that's Vez from Wonk Unit. That's a celebrity. That's our celebrity guest appearance.
Oh,
My best mate. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think I saw her at Rebellion. She had like a Kill Bill outfit on.
Yes, 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 yeah. Vez wears some of the best outfits, particularly at Rebellion. She hits a stride at Rebellion.
That's awesome. I'm still kind of getting to know everybody. It's like I've come to realize that it's like it's a it's the same bands there, and everybody's really tight knit in the UK. And then I feel like I interviewed a couple of those bands, and then this is how this happened. You reached out to me because it's just like you guys are all so tight knit, and then I'm like this foreign object, and I'm like, and I'm just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like Britain's got a fantastic punk scene. It's got a small punk scene, but it's a small country. But it's a very, very good scene with a lot of good bands. And yeah, there's quite a lot of bands in the UK at the minute that would do well in America, that would really do well. Fest books a lot of them. Fest is really good for bringing British bands over.
Yeah, I think it's hard though, just with visas and stuff. I mean, it's expensive for bands to
Well,
come
you have to
over.
do. No. You don't get visas. You do
Yeah,
it.
you do
You go.
like you cheat and do the tourist thing.
Yeah, it's so scary. It's so scary. It's such a challenging country to get into, America. It's ridiculous. Mad.
God. Oh man. Okay, so next question. What's the best piece of advice Wonk Unit has ever given you?
Be yourself, be kind, and be lucky. That coupled with don't be cool. The best bit of advice Alex ever gave me was don't worry about being cool. Never worry about being cool.
Yeah, I just remember I could see that coming from him. The first time I ever saw Wonk Unit, I literally was just like, I'm into it, but what in the fuck am I watching right now? Like, what is this?
That was exactly the first time I watched them, they were supporting Teenage Bottle Rocket. And I was just stood there like, this is the greatest thing this is the best band I've ever seen, but I couldn't work out what was going on. It was just amazing.
Okay, so what's the worst piece of advice Wonk Unit's ever given you?
Here you are, at Rebellion 2017, when Alex went, here you are, Jamie, have a little bit of snuff. That's the worst bit of advice I was ever given. Try snuff. That was by far the worst advice I was given.
Why?
You've been
though?
very good for it. Why snuff? So snuff's like a sniffable tobacco, yeah?
Yeah.
And my nose just wasn't prepared for it. I was acting all Billy Big bollocks. I thought, I've had things in my nose before. I'm sure I can handle a bit of tobacco, a bit of harmless tobacco. But no, it's very sharp. And it's like menthol as well. So it's like having a Wrigley's Extra shoved up your nose. It's terrible.
Oh,
It's
God.
what it feels like to chew 5 gum.
That's awful. Yeah, I've never put anything up my nose, but I wouldn't want to. I have friends in Germany that always do snuff, and like, especially if they're drunk, they won't get it all in their nose, so they'll have all this like brown shit around their
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nostrils.
Me and Mike like a bit of snuff. Me and Mike, when we go on tour, we always take it in the snuff with us. And when we got back from tour, we were dabbling with snuff a bit too much. I went, right, Mike, we need to stop snuff. And he went, no, 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 we don't, it's fine. I went, no, we do. I went, if we go on a date with somebody and they're telling us about themselves, and we whip out a little tin of snuff and then have a pinch of snuff over, you know, a nice drink or possibly a meal if you're feeling fancy. That, you know, and then because snuff as well, it's not like beak where you do it, you feel great, and it's fine. You do snuff and then you sneeze, you have to blow fuck out of your nose. All this black, horrible gunk comes out. Honestly, it's not attractive. It's not good. You can't be. It's just not good. It's not sanitary.
Well, and two, in America, snuff is like, you know, nobody does that here. So every time my European friends have come over and they have it, and they'll do it at the bar out in public, like all of my American friends will look at them because they think they're doing cocaine, because
Yeah.
that's more normal here. And it's like, you know, you're in public, right? And I always like would tell my friends, oh no, 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 it's like tobacco, and they're not doing drugs right now, and they're like, what the fuck?
I know one American band that likes snuff. The Dopamines like snuff. The Dopamines and the Raging Nathans both like snuff.
That's cool. Yeah, but it's like it's a weird thing to see. It's like, are you doing
Yeah.
drugs right now? Like, what
You
are
don't see
you
it in the
doing?
UK. It's very European. In Germany and Holland, it's a bit more common. In the UK, it's still people think it's disgusting. You can't get away with it. But in
Yeah,
Europe, you can. That's why Europe's brilliant.
it's all my German friends that do it, and it's fucking. They'll be all wasted with brown shit. It's so
Yeah,
gross. So,
it's terrible.
so we're about halfway through our questions. Will you play us a song?
I can't do because it's very late and I'm a very loud singer and I'd wake all my neighbours up. I'm very sorry.
That sucks. Okay, I guess we'll just move
No,
on to questions then.
I'm
Nobody
so
gets to hear your
sorry.
music now.
Well, you can hear it the good old-fashioned way via, you know, YouTube, illegal downloading, Spotify. But I would sing, but honestly, I will wake all my neighbours up, and I can't do that because I need to keep them on side so I can continue playing music loudly.
Yeah, I guess it's like in England especially, like it's people are really kind of everything first of all shuts down really early there. And then second, it's like people are getting really upset about the neighbors. Like they're serious about it. Like here in America, people will get pissed off about the neighbors, but people just do it anyway.
Oh no, people like to formally complain in England. It's a big, big thing in England. A queue and a complaint. If a queue leads to a complaint, that's one of the most British things you can get. That.
Yeah. Yeah, some of my other friends in London have that too. They're like they have to be so mindful of the neighbors, and it's just like it feels like complaints there are taken really seriously. Like even seeing Alex's posts about the pharmacy like a couple weeks ago and how they complained about it, and it's just like, oh my god, like that doesn't happen in America. People will complain and then it'll just continue.
Yeah, no, Britain's a bit different. Britain, like, there's quite a stern amount of authority still knocking about in Britain, but in very weird pockets, in very weird people need to deem authority over things still in Britain. I think especially within their own home, if you're getting pissed off within your own home, that doesn't normally go down too well.
Well, the fact too that everybody, oh my god, excuse me, I'm dying. I'm dying on my green smoothie. It's too healthy. Um, People there, they're just really like they go to bed early. Like the pubs close early. Everything's just early there.
Yeah, do you know what? In fairness, compared to America and Europe, definitely. In Europe, it's nothing out of the ordinary for a pub to be open till 6 in the morning. But in
Yeah,
the UK, pubs not so much. Bars, bars are a bit different in cities, in bars, but Britain's not predominantly made of cities. It's made of small towns with small pubs, and in small towns with small pubs, they do shut early. So yeah, there is like the country does it does go to sleep quite early. In fairness, it's because everyone's up for fucking work early, I guess. Must be.
that's funny. Okay, so next question. So you're obviously from Manchester. What are some of the things that Manchester's known for?
Uh, the best bands in the world, drugs, the hacienda, and football.
Okay,
Coronation Street.
why the best bands in the world?
Oasis, the Stone Roses, the Happy Mondays, Joy Division, the Smiths. Not a big fan of Morrissey, but there we go. You're not racist, so. But yeah, that pretty much. The Charlatans, not too asked about. You know, us. Who else is good? Witch Fever, Revenge of the Psychotronic Man. They were Mancunian. Loads of great bands.
I've never been to Manchester, but every year when I come over for Rebellion, I think about flying into Manchester, but I always do London instead. It's hard to choose. Like I like London, but I've never been to Manchester.
Well, Manchester's very close to Blackpool, and Manchester's a very, very funny night out. London's very big, right? Manchester's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But it's got a very good nightlife. There's a lot of funny things to do in Manchester. You can have a very good time quite cheaply in Manchester.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that about there. It's always just so hard choosing. I'm like, oh, but everybody I know is in London. I'm like...
You should go to Manchester Punk Festival one year.
What's that?
You should go to Manchester Punk Festival one year. We got a banging punk festival in Manchester.
That's cool. When does it usually take place?
It's normally on 420 weekend. It's normally the second to last weekend. Yeah, it's normally about this time every year.
Yeah, about this time. That sucks. Well, everything's canceled. They're saying like what shows probably won't start up again until 2021.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I don't know. I know as much as anybody else does. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I'd like to think that gigs might be on before then, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be early this year. It's definitely going to be late. But it's bizarre, isn't it?
I really do not. I don't think that gigs are going to resume. I was just reading an article the other day, and I really don't think that it's going to happen. And I think Rebellion is going to get postponed. They haven't announced it yet, but I think it will, to be honest.
I think because of the amount of people who've got COVID in America at the moment, America in particular is like very, 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 very much been hit by it. Yeah. And Britain and Europe is shut down. That could be shut down for months. But yeah, there's a lot of anything to do with American bands really this year is going to be up in the air. Anything where they've got a lot of American bands. I mean, I hope, for Rebellion's sake, it gets to go through. I hope for everyone's sake, it's all done as soon as possible. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we, unfortunately?
Well, you know why we've got so many cases in America is because people here are dumbasses and keep going out. It's like, stay the fuck home. What are you doing?
I'm 24 days into staying at home at the moment. It's been nice. We go out for one bit of exercise a day. Big walk, that's fine. Stay away from everyone. It's great.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's kind of like prison, but I was talking to my friend yesterday that's actually in prison, and he said they've even tightened up lockdown on them. So it's like, he's like prison now. It's like double prison.
For me, maybe I'm just lucky, but for me, it's like a very, very weird holiday. It's like a holiday, but you can't go out at the resort very much. You only get to go out once a day, but because the weather's sort of picked up and it's been quite hot, I live in a flat with a balcony. It's been a bit, I can kind of trick myself into thinking I'm on holiday.
It's not me. The weather's been, on top of all this coronavirus shit, the beautiful California weather that we normally have does not exist. It has been raining like almost every fucking day. It's terrible.
Well, you're taking it away from us then. That's all right.
It's awful. Okay. Next question. So, like I was saying, when I saw you play Wonkfest over the summer last year, you had all these like pool floats, like a Shamu, and like all these sea creature floats that you were throwing into the audience. It's kind of odd like that. Where does that come from?
I don't know, I really, really don't know. I think it's just Wonkfest. Wonkfest so Wonkfest is built, obviously, it's all people that love Wonk Unit. And Wonk Unit, their fan base is like a family. And when that's said about bands sometimes, it's said, with a bit of hyperbole. But the Wonk fam are all people who know each other by name, the people who've seen each other at gigs. And it's just like a massive, massive family party. It's like a wedding or something. It's like one of the weddings from The Godfather. It's just extraordinary. So, the weird inflatable stuff, I think it just comes with the territory, to be honest. I think it's just indicative of the good time. But yeah, no, I couldn't tell you where it comes from. It's very silly, though.
Yeah, I remember taking stories of that, and I was like, wait for it, because there was like a Shamu. And it just, like, for me being American coming over, I'm like, God, the English punk scene is fucking weird. There was like cotton candy and like a table of
Yeah.
snacks. That was like,
It's not like that everywhere. It's not like that at every gig. I can tell you that. I can tell you that for free. It'd be very, very different. If every gig was like Wonkfest, it'd be a very, very interesting time to be a musician.
you know what?
But
No, not okay. Not every gig, but a lot of the other gigs I've been to in England, they're fucking weird still compared to America. And I was just like, what is happening here? Even at Wonkfest, there's a lady in the corner making fucking balloon animals and like, but it's like adults because she was making like balloon things and she was making like dicks that people had on their heads.
pretty much, I think we're just a bit silly in Britain. Do you know what I mean? We're just not really asked. The punk scene is in Britain. We do human pyramids a lot. That happens a lot in punk gigs. I've never seen it in America though. I've never seen anybody stand a pyramid.
Well, and it's just the environment too. So you're in this like old shitty building, and in Europe it's so common that you don't have any air conditioning, so it's hot as fuck. It's literally like steamy in there. And I remember one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life was with Mark from Wonk Unit last year at the Wonk Fest, because this also happened, which this would never happen in America. So many people had spilled beer, and from all the steam from the sweat, the wood floors were like wet and they were slippery. And all of these people kept slipping and actually falling. And that would never happen in America because the venue would get sued. And it's like, the venue did nothing. They just kept letting it happen. And the security guards are just watching people fall. And it's like, can somebody get a mop?
That's what Empress Ballroom's like at Rebellion by about 7 o'clock though. That's a slippy floor, that's a terrifying floor.
And it's like, that would never happen in America because somebody would sue somebody. And it's like, I like how in Europe they just leave it. And Mark and I remember standing there talking. They just, like, these people kept falling, and then this one guy fell, and he just kind of laid there and wouldn't get up. And Mark and I just, like, we both looked at each other, and then it was like, this is horrible that we're laughing, and then we started laughing at each other that it was like, you're a horrible person because you think this is funny.
Oh no, Plas would have definitely found that funny. Plas probably thinks about that before he falls asleep at night sometimes. Probably gets a little giggle out of him when he's tucked in.
When I saw him later in Oakland for the Crash Festival, we relived that, and then we both laughed really hard again, and we're like, God, we're terrible people.
He's funny, Mark. I love Mark. He's got a wicked sense of humor.
Yeah. So what's the weirdest thing you've ever done when you were high or drunk?
I don't know, you know. I don't know. I don't. Do you know, honestly, Erin, it's hard. A lot of things to do with piss are coming to mind. There's been a lot of piss involved situations. Probably, I don't know. A small one, a small but quirky one, is I like to. No, do you know what? I'm just gonna have to go with getting in the bath with Mike during the video. That's all I can. That's because that's knocking about up there. But that isn't weird. That was just fun. I don't know, to be honest. I don't do weird stuff when I'm high and drunk.
No, that was pretty weird. That was pretty weird.
That can count as weird. That can count as my weird thing.
I kind of was like watching your video and I was waiting for that to happen. I was like, he's gonna do it, and then he did, and I'm just like, it's a good video. It's really funny. Everyone should go watch it. So tell me some weird English slang.
Obviously wanker. John's a very good one. So in England, John, obviously it's the name of someone, but very standard sort of like middle-aged white men that do very like basic business jobs, the very run-of-the-mill standard people. Calling them Johns is very funny. Calling utensils for making spliffs tackle, that's good. Calling your cock tackle, that's also quite funny. That's quite British. Batty's pretty good. Batty means bum. But that's not necessarily British, but it's used over here a lot. Um, hmm. All I can only think of Rubons, to be honest. I'm gonna go with Tackle and John. I think Tackle's very good. In it,
Okay.
people like In It. Americans, all the American bands we've toured with have been fascinated by In It, which is just how you say, isn't it? But quite quickly, In It.
But I mean, that's like what we do in like I'm from the South in America, which is like redneck as fuck, and we say in it's just like it's
Is
trashy.
it?
It's
Yeah, no,
trashy.
yeah. I think it's hard because it's hard. So much of my dialect is just colloquial slang that I don't know where to begin with. I don't speak with particularly well formed sentences.
So wait, what's the difference between like British and English? Because I have one friend in England, and he's always like, "I'm not British, I'm English."
Right. So Great Britain is the islands, and Great Britain is so you've got Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England. England is sort of like a state within Great Britain, but people who kick off about being British and being English. It's just pointless. We're all in it together. We're in the same place. It's the same. It's the same area. It's pointless to complain.
Yeah, now I always just like, I don't ever call people British anymore because if they're from England, I call them English because he would get like, not like actually mad, but he would get kind of miffed about it. And so I'm just like, okay.
Oh, I'm not proud to be English at all, so I'm not asked. You can throw me as far away as possible.
Okay. So if you could remove one of your tattoos, which would it be and why?
Well, I've fucking got my Green Day tattoo covered up because this new album, our old album, sounded quite Green Day, very much into that. This new one doesn't really sound like Green Day, and I got my Green Day tattoo covered up. I'm like, okay, growing up now. This is it. This is me taking the step out of my childhood into the future. And so many of the reviews still say we sound very Green Day. A lot of people saying that. So I would have got that removed. I did do, but now I'd have to get another one removed. I don't really know. I have got fuck this shit, I want to get off written across my knees. And that's my favourite tattoo personally. But one day, when I'm in Benidorm with my little grandkids and they go, oh, Jamie, why have you got swearing on your knees? That's going to be a difficult conversation. So probably that one.
Yeah, that's maybe not a good place to have that. Maybe you should have gotten it like fuck this shit as like a tramp stamp on your lower back. That would have been kind of funny.
I've not got the back for it. I've not got an attractive enough back. I'm always trying to shield my back.
What do you mean? Like, who has an attractive back? What is an attractive back?
Do you know the football player, DeAndre Yedlin, or the soccer player? He's got a brilliant back. Like, he's got a very muscular back. Very
Okay.
attractive, very striking shoulders.
Well, but anybody could have that if you like did some push-ups or whatever.
Not me. Whoa. Like, we've been trying as well. Me and my mate, who I'm quarantining with, we've been doing exercise. It's not working yet. We don't look like the people in the videos. It said 3 weeks, guaranteed six-pack. Big lies. In the time of quarantine as well. How sad.
I don't think that happens if you continue to like smoke weed and if you don't clean up your diet.
That happens as well. No. I eat very well, thank you. Apart from the cornetto I had before I came on, I eat very well.
Okay. So next question: worst memory of a show you've ever played?
Probably Fest, because I knew how bad we were. So we didn't know how bad we were as a band, but I knew how bad that set was going, and it was obviously, you're 20 years old, you're playing a festival in America, and Sam from Get Dead was watching us, Joe McMahon was there, Chris from the Flatliners is there, all these people, and you're like, fucking hell. And we really honestly thought we were going to be great, but I knew how bad we were while we were playing, and it was just a lot to take at 20 years old. That it was very difficult. So that's probably one. There was a time before our gig before Fest, we'd been recording all day, and I had tonsillitis, so I'd been absolutely necking cough syrup, and I had to play a gig, and I was very high on cough syrup. There was only 4 people watching us, and I was nearly sick twice. It was not very good.
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, cough syrup gets you really high. I remember in high school, growing up in Florida, which was very white trash, the way we would get high was we would go drink a bottle of cough syrup and then you'd trip.
Oh, oh. It doesn't taste good, does it?
No,
It doesn't go
it's
down
pretty
well.
awful. You'd have to drink.
Yeah.
You had to drink like if you wanted a half trip, you drank half the bottle, 4 ounces. If you wanted a full trip, you drank the whole 8 ounces, and it was like you would literally. It was like a really cheap way to do kind of like acid.
And it makes you so nauseous, though. So nauseous.
Yeah, I think I
Very
remember. I would
funny.
always like throw it up. It was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. It's gravy, isn't it?
It was the white trash way to do drugs. Um, um. So, favorite memory of a show you've ever played?
um, there was a gig we did in a place called Hull, which is like a small town in England, and that was one of my favourites because we'd played there. So it was our third time playing, and each time more people had come, and each time we'd played better. And the third time we played, I'm not chatting. It wasn't a busy gig. There was about 40 people there, but it was more than the last two times we've played. And I was like, oh my god, we are developing a following here. These are people who've come to see us. Do you know what I mean? It's like this is fucking sick. These are people who from us playing here have heard about us and come to see us. So that's very good. Wonkfest last year was just amazing. That was just amazing. But we headlined a gig in our hometown as well quite recently, and that was very good too. Those are my top three at the minute.
That's awesome. Yeah, Longfest is always fun. It's sad that they had to postpone it this year, but
Yeah, very sad, very sad. But the next one will be very good.
I'm actually glad because I kept telling them, I was like, oh, I want to come out and cover that because the last 2 years I landed at Wonkfest by accident, so it wasn't like a plan to cover the festival. And then this year they had it so far away from Rebellion because it was like the venue had another booking because they normally do it right up against Rebellion. And I
Yeah, the
was
week
just
before.
Yeah, and I was telling them, I was like, I can't financially afford to be in England for that long because it was like this year they had scheduled Wonkfest like 11 days before Rebellion. And I was like,
Yeah,
aside from affording it, it's like, what the fuck am I going to do in England for that long between the festivals?
yeah.
So I guess it's awful, but in that capacity, hopefully next year they'll be able to schedule it close to Rebellion again.
I think Alex likes doing that because it's a nice lead in for a lot of the bands because a lot of the bands that play Wonkfest will go on and play Rebellion. It's just a nice little way to lead into that, and it means any of the American bands coming over that Alex knows as well can then obviously do Wonkfest too as well, which is very good.
Yeah, I feel like it just works out too. And then, that you get the people that are just in town. A lot of people come in via London instead of Manchester. And it's like, yeah, sure, Wonkfest. It was like, that's how I ended up there. I was coming over from Rebellion and, fate worked out the way it did where my flights were canceled. It's like, come to this thing.
It's not a bad again. It's not a bad way of spending a day.
No, it was fun. It was like a punk rock carnival. Um, So yeah, I would normally close with play us another song, but you can't play any songs. So
No.
I just want to tell everyone out there to please go follow Ariel Salad. Go stream their new album Dirt Mall on all streaming platforms. Go check out their new music video Lazy on YouTube. And I want to say thank you so much for being here. It was really fun chatting with you.
Yeah, nice one, mate. It was good chatting to you. Thanks very much for having us.
Yeah. Have a good
Nice one.
night.
Take care, mate. Bye, mate.
Bye.